Hello my viewers at home and welcome to my YouTube channel Daily Express. Please do well to hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. Also,
Alright, my viewers at home, you are welcome to our channel today. Today we'll be looking at the UAG grant disbursement, the UAG grant in general, talking about the rename, who formed the US, who is the managing director of the Now Bank, then talking about formation of the US, where was it formed, founders, and also talking about why was US formed and when was it initiated, for whom was it formed, who is Professor Brimi Abraham Olaguri, okay, and also talking about other things, disbursement and other things. Stay tuned as we bring you a well-packed uh, report today. Stay tuned, please. uh US grant. This is not the real name of this grant you are expecting, but it serves as the working name. The real name is US grant or Now Bank a grant. Any of them is correct. This grant was organized by the Federated United African States government US under the Central Bank of Africa, known as New African World Bank, New African World Bank, also known as No Bank, who formed US. The founder and president of Federated United African States government was Professor Bremi Abraham A.U. Olaguri, who is MD of Now Bank. The managing director of Now Bank is Frank Shikezi. And the formation of US, the Union of African States, US was formed by some African independent nations leaders to have a common government, protect and fight for African nations. Then, where was it formed? The US was formed in Casablanca, Morocco. Founders are Ahmed Ben Bella of Morocco, Ahmed Sekou Toure of Guinea, Modibo Keita of Mali, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, Kamal Abdul Nasser of Egypt, Professor Leopold Senghor of Senegal, then Professor William Edward uh, Begat Dubious, and an African American, okay, Professor William Edward Begat Dubious, and African American. Then Professor Brimi Abraham Ese Ka Ruglo Uzimega Olarege, personal assistant to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and Pan-African Youth Permanent English Secretary to Guinea government. Why was the reason why US was formed? This is the reason. US was formed by some African independent nations leaders who felt that there was a need for all African nations to be united, liberated, and integrated, which is the only way to be freed from colonial control by foreign leaders, so as to be united, work together in order to free all other African nation states which are under colonial control without a freedom and sovereign status. When was it initiated? US was initiated in March 12, 1962. For whom was it formed? The US was formed for the Africans, present and future generations unborn. Who is Professor Brimi Abraham Olarere? He was the executive secretary of US, okay, born on August 22, 1943 in Uzeba in Owan West local government area of Edo State, Nigeria. He was appointed the Executive Secretary of U.S. by African Union constituted heads of states and leaders on January 31st, 2010 at African Union Summit at Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. He now professorships in different universities and taught in 7 universities and 3 colleges amongst Washington City University, USA, Golden Gate University, USA, University of Maryland, USA, Blackwell College, USA, City College of Washington, DC, USA, University of Moscow, Russia. He was a visiting professor to 44 universities in various parts of the world: Asia, Europe, America, Russia, and Africa. Why was US formed? When the African nations leaders found out that without unity they may never be independent of themselves. For instance, when France armed forces invaded Mali, AU did nothing. When France again bombed Abidjan, Ivory Coast, leaving hundreds dead, and the headquarters of African Development Bank building destroyed, AU did nothing. When European nations went to Libya and murdered Colonel Gaddafi and poisoned Ghana President and Prime Minister of Ethiopia because of their support to their introduction and support for integration of African nation states and the declaration of the integration of United African States in January 31st, 2010 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, thus the arising for the formation. Then what is talking about the difference between OAU and or AU and US? Okay, talking about the difference between OAU or AU and the US. The OAU Organization of African Union The OAU Organization of African Union was later changed to African Union as a non-governmental organization of African nations leaders. We shall continue this in a different episode. Do join us as we continue this in different episodes. Ensure you subscribe to our channel. Bye for now. Do join us in the other news, okay?